Wow, what an interesting sequence of events for Barcelona leading up to the new La Liga season. Losing the Super Cup to Bilbao, winning the UEFA Super Cup in unbelievable fashion against Sevilla 5-4 game there. What does this mean going forward to the season? Probably jack shit, to be honest. I'm going to be straightforward as I could be. It is a little worrying that they're conceding more goals than usual, but I can never count out this team with that amount of star qualities. So I'm going to nip that in the bud before I get into the preview, is that this is not going to affect much going into the season, I don't think. Yes, they might have a shaky start. They might not be full-flown as you'd expect this Barcelona team to go into this new season playing that way. And people expect it because they hit form so well towards the latter stage of last season and had all the trophies that they won, and they should just go straight into it again. But there's an off-season there. There's a break. There's some transitions. There's some injuries. These are things that happen. I still would consider Barcelona to be the out-and-out favourite to win La Liga this season. So that's an early statement I'll make there. But let's take a quick look at who came in and who came out in the transfer window. So let's take a look at the arrivals into the new camp this season. The most notable, Arda Turan, coming in there. 34 million euros from Atletico Madrid. Staying local as well as Sevilla. And of course, with the transfer ban, they weren't as active as you'd expected them to be, finding loopholes there to bring in players. Pogba was one that was expected to come, but more than anything, they just did not add the exact star players as they did the last couple of seasons. Same with Real Madrid. Suarez, of course, the most notable, but Turan is a great signing nonetheless. So don't get me wrong, Turan is a great signing. I think that with Barcelona, you don't need to add as much as you'd expect. With Xavi moving out and Iniesta getting on a bit, I think this could be a good player to nurture into that position and partner with Rakitic and Busquets. So who left the new camp this season? Who are the notable players that moved on from last season's treble winners? So the most notable, Afellay struggled to find form, I think, at Barcelona. Still a talented player, and I noted that he will be an interesting player to watch in the Premier League going to Stoke, and Xavi is the other most notable player, Traore moving to Aston Villa. But Xavi moving to the Qatar Stars League, the legend that is Xavi moving on. So that was a sad day for everyone seeing him move on, but I think it was the right decision to be made. He was used sparingly at the new camp. So let's talk about Barcelona now going into this season. So excited to see how they're going to play now. Neymar, of course, missed the last couple of Super Cup games with the mumps, and I think that they did miss him. It was evident, and I talked about this before in a clip when we talked about the Bilbao game. Messi creates space in a paper bag. He's phenomenal at that. But Neymar provides an outlet that teams are worried about, and that's why before, when Neymar was just coming into form at Barcelona, many teams left him wide, and Messi would basically pick this apart and switch play into Neymar, and he would cut in onto that right foot and score a barrel load of goals. Now teams are worried about that, and they focus more on Neymar on that side and are aware of that switch in those runs, so it gives Messi more space in the middle to cut inside and do what he does best. So I think that with Neymar coming back, that's when Barcelona will start to find their form again and their confidence. Don't get me wrong, the goal that they scored to start things off against Bilbao was phenomenal. A great bit of football again, and Messi finishing it off. So he's still been scoring. It's not like he's having a poor run of form. It's the conceding that's worrying. With Piqué going to be suspended for the first game, that is something that has to be noted as well, as him and Mascherano formed a rock-solid back four partnership along with Alves and Alba. But they've conceded 9 goals in the last 3 games. It's something that cannot be overlooked. I don't take much from pre-season. I still think they'll be great going into the new La Liga season, but 9 goals is something that has to be highlighted and is obviously a worry, especially with Ter Stegen not performing as well. I think Bravo now, will he be the starting goalkeeper going forward and the starting goalkeeper in the Champions League? I know Enrique liked to mix things up there. Who knows? Take a look at my predicted starting 11 here for last season's champions. Nothing changes here as well for me. Barcelona's team are going to stick to what worked last season. Jason obviously has a soft spot for La Liga because he's included the goalkeepers here. So comment in the section below and tell him that that's disgraceful, because in the Premier League previews, he never put goalkeepers in there. But he's got Bravo in here, which I think will be the starting goalkeeper going forward in terms of Champions League play as well. And that is a bold statement, I know, but Ter Stegen, as much as it's only pre-season, I think they have to go with consistency. If it was me, I would go with the same goalkeeper. Of course, utilise Stegen when you want to, because he's young and you want to get him, you want to mature him along with the team and get him fitting into that style of play. And I think he did well in the Champions League last season. I'm not disregarding that, but I think they need to go with one or the other for the consistency of the season. But back four stays the same for me. Alba, Mascherano, Piqué, and Alves. Piqué out for the first game of the season. Looks a little bit shaky in pre-season, and of course that red card will not boost his confidence at all. But nonetheless, that starting back four are always going to be the same for me, because Barcelona, Alba is actually going to be left back and Alves right back. So Jason Rubin, that's 2 amounts of abuse you're going to get in the comment section. So don't take it easy on him. Let him know. Alba's a left back, Alba's a right back. If he wants to come into this world of world football, he needs to know that. But he has got this right. Busquets, Iniesta and Rakitic in there. This middle three clicked so well last season. Teams will try to adapt and they will have a closer eye on Rakitic, don't get me wrong, because he flew under the radar last year and came up with some vital goals and some vital assists. Still amazing to me. I'm going back to the FIFA rating of him. I think he's an 83. Should be higher than that. Rakitic had a great season. He's got a lot to live up to this year, but I still think that he will fit into this style of play. And he is a player that, as much as you want to try and count out and try and make sure to limit his space, he'll find that space and he'll utilize those around him. Because if you're trying to worry too much about this floating midfielder making those runs into the box, it's going to take away from the focus that should be on Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez and Neymar. Starting three, best front three in the world. So excited to see if they can reach the same peaks they hit last year and surpass that. Knowing these three individually, this will be at the top of their list, and things to do this season is to surpass what they did last year, because if they hit the same peaks they did, that might not be enough, because teams might try and reach their level. They're going to try, they now understand how these three play together. Messi will drop deeper, pick up the ball. Suarez will take the point. Neymar will float out wide and try to be that hidden player in the wide areas that cuts in and makes those just devastating runs in behind. They're going to try and figure that out, but you can see clearly in Barcelona's earlier games that without Neymar in there, Messi finds a little bit less space and it has to rely more, again, in linking up with Suarez, which he's fine in doing, but Neymar provides that different dynamic in the wider areas. Same team for me goes forward this season. You're going to get the signings that came in with Turan being used more sparingly. I think overall Barcelona are going to win the La Liga for me, because they now know what works. They know that recipe. They started shakily last season. Let's not forget that Real Madrid won first El Clasico. Especially guys like Iniesta just looked way past it at the start. As much as he didn't have a great season, he's still going to be useful. I think that Rakitic is only going to get better. I think that Neymar, Suarez and Messi are going to just surpass what they already did. So I think that for me, La Liga play specifically, they're going to win it for me again. So I know that in my history, saying Manchester United had a good chance at winning the Premier League. They started poorly and they never really amounted to any strong title challenge. I said Chelsea are going to win it this season and they've had an awful start. Still won't count them out. Will I jinx Barcelona again? Have I got the power of jinxing all the world's best teams? Let me know in the comment section below. Where do you think Barcelona will finish this season in La Liga play? Tweet me at Francis_Maxwell. All La Liga coverage will be coming this season. I hope we've pleased you guys who have been waiting patiently, and I'm looking forward to the start of this campaign. Cheers.